Hello, 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 everyone. Good to see all of you. Welcome. Hello. We are getting some folks adding their names into the chat box. I see all of you. Hi and welcome. My name is Lauren Jin. If we haven't had a chance to meet in person or digitally yet, it's great to see you today. I am the program manager for food experiences at ISS Guckenheimer, and I am the lucky one who gets to host today's session. Now, if this is your first time attending, welcome. We're so glad you found us. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. We are thrilled that you're joining. Again, we would love to see where you are calling in from. So please head on over to that chat box. Let us know you're here. Say hello from whichever city you're joining. Throughout the event, please share any comments that you have and also ask your questions. Chef Zio, we are saving some time at the end for her to answer any of your questions. So throughout the call, please go ahead and pop them into the chat box. Now, at ISS Guckenheimer, our diversity, equity, and inclusion culture is made up of 3 pillars: lead, grow, and deepen. The goal of this diversity series is to help us become an organization that leads with inclusion, to unlock the power of diversity so that we can deepen our user and community partnerships. Each year, Americans observe National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th by celebrating the histories, cultures, and contributions of individuals whose international culinary competition. Chef Zio, welcome. We are so excited to have you.
Hello.
Before we get started and dive in, I just want to give you an opportunity to tell folks a little bit more about yourself.
Well, everyone know I'm Xiomara. I am from Puerto Rico. I born in Puerto Rico and spent 28 years in there, and I moved to Colorado in 2014 with my 3 kids, and just start a new adventure in there. And then in 2017, I started working for ISS Guckenheimer.
And we're so glad that you found us. So before you came and started working from ISS Guckenheimer, you had already had a love of food. I know you attended some culinary school as well. What sparked this love and desire of food and cooking in your life?
Well, I love cooking since I am a kid. I love always everything creative. I wasn't a academically excited, I guess. And so I always look for anything that I can do with my hands, that anything that I can create. And I watch a lot of cooking shows when I was a kid. Instead of watching cartoons, I was watching ladies cooking in the TV. So that definitely, grow in me. I learned to cook with my grandma. My grandma is an amazing cook, and she's a seamstress. So anything creative like that, always, it was very exciting for me. So then when I graduate high school, I start in art school. But then in 1 year in, I decide that I wanted to do culinary. So I start my culinary journey at that time. Then I stopped because I had my daughter. And then when I moved to Colorado, I decided to take it over, and I went to a culinary school in Colorado and finished my degree in culinary arts.
And I feel like having, amazing folks in our life to cook with, like your grandmother, and enjoying food that way, but then deciding that you wanted food to be your career, that's a huge step. So about the industry specifically, what was it about the industry that like drew you in? What is something that inspires you to stay in the food service industry today?
I think I believe that you can make people feel so many things with a plate of food. Is like a full experience. So I love the idea um, of creating experiences through food. And is an art, is food, it nourishes you, so it's like a whole thing. And I love that. And also, when I was growing up, someone told me you need to do a career that something that you can do for free, something that something that you love so much that you can do for free. I can definitely cook for free. So yeah, I find my passion in culinary because of the art element that is in there, and the experience.
And I think that being able to provide, guests and users an experience and share with them, your passion and your culture is something that's so special. And I think that probably resonates very strongly with, the other folks on this call. So, we're so thankful, and I'm sure that our guests are so thankful that they get to enjoy your food and enjoy that experience because of all of your past experiences as well. Okay, now everyone is dying to hear more about the International Culinary Competition that you just won. Can you tell us first just what is the ICC? What is the International Culinary Competition?
The ICC competition, it was created to highlight the talent of the cooks that this company have, which I think is amazing. And it start with a paper entry for your region, and then you do, if you are selected to compete for your region, you go and compete with other areas. And then after that is the person that wins in there then competes against the United States from other regions, and then the person that wants it in United States represent United States in all the years have been in Copenhagen. I don't know if it's going to continue to be like that, but you represent in the world competition United States.
Amazing. So an opportunity for us to just highlight the amazing culinary talent that we have regionally, nationally, and then internationally. So lots of steps. You made it all the way through to the very, very top. Now, this wasn't the first time you decided to compete. You actually entered for the first time in 2019, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that experience. How did you decide to do this?
I remember we were in a meeting, a chef meeting, and it got announced. And they said, anyone can, I was a cook at that time, anyone, there's a culinary competition going on. It's not only going to be for chefs. Anyone can apply. It's going to be a paper entry. And the instructions about it and how you can qualify and everything. And I was like, okay, I can do that. So I did the paper entry and I got in, and I went to Austin for the first regional competition. It was very exciting and scary at the same time, because all the other competitors were executive chefs. So I was like, okay, I can do it. I'm here.
And you said, I can do it. I'm here. You were saying that out loud. Were you feeling that inside? Like, did you feel, in your heart, like, I can totally win
Oh,
this. I've got this.
yeah. I mean, I know I can win it. Yeah, I know I can. I could do it. But still, that voice inside telling you, maybe not. They have more experience and all those things that your head tells you. But yeah, I like challenge, and I think you grow from uncomfortable situations and from pushing yourself. So you had nothing to lose.
Did you feel more confident?
I lost you.
Sorry, I said this year in 2022, did you feel more confident because you had that experience from 2019?
I did. At the same time, the doubts still there. For example, in this competition in Copenhagen, there were two of the chefs in there that works at Michelin stars restaurants. So that's pretty intimidating. But I just I always think about these competitions that it is a competition against other people, but whatever background or skills that other people have nothing to do with you. So it doesn't matter, they can have all the experience in it and still not have anything with you. It's more a competitions against yourself. It's more a competition of you growing and just focus on your skills and your strengths.
I think when we start comparing ourselves to other people, like we can't be our best self,
Mm-hmm.
right? So kind of like you said, your strengths, so play to your own strengths versus looking at other people and kind of getting inside your own head.
Exactly.
I feel like that takes practice.
Yes.
So aside from that, it sounds like you kind of like overcame that voice in your head that kind of like was creating a little bit of doubt. You overcame that. Beyond that, I know it must have been sort of challenging for you and Derek because you don't live in the same city anymore, right?
Yes.
Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah. So for the first competition, we luckily were working together, and we had an amazing person here that helped us with that training, which is you. So we got a lot of practice for that first time. We were when we were in Boulder, we work a lot together because Derek always helped me with catering and all these things, and I always went to him for questions of things. So we had that the experience already of working together. However, um, is is always again the doubt is like, oh my god, we haven't practiced, oh my god, I don't feel prepared for this. So I the we just got two practices, and they were pretty stressful, more stressful than the competition, because um I for some weird reason I work better under pressure. So so the practices, instead of helping me, be more confident, make me doubt a little bit that we just only practice twice and all these things. So yeah, but again, you just tell that voice not to bother you, and and just focus on your skills, and that that we work good together, that we have a good communication and everything, and it pays off.
Yeah, I have a couple of photos here, so I want to bring up some photos so everyone can see the beautiful dishes that you both created. And I'm sure that everybody is wondering, how do you even think up these beautiful plates? Where do you find your inspiration for your flavors and your plating?
Well, we had a base skeleton menu, which is like, okay, these are the things that I can possibly do that will go together and all these things. So that's very important. When you're going to do these kind of competitions, you need to have an idea of a skeleton menu. And inspiration, I live my life looking at food, online, TV shows, anything that I can get inspiration from. I do. Like, for example, my Instagram is just full of um, um, plates and food and food and food and food. So and I love colors and be authentic in my. So I do get inspiration from what other people is doing in the industry, but I transfer that to whatever I feel to do in there.
So it sounds like your kind of winning recipe here is preparedness, right? So you had your skeleton menu, you had practiced, you and Derek had built, a lot of trust with one another, but then there's equal parts your own flavor, your own fun, your own creativity that you brought to the mix as well.
Yes. Yeah. And we both are always very clear on what are his strengths and then what are my strengths, and then we go with that. I my strength is not to deal with the protein, so they always get the protein, and then I do other things that I feel more comfortable and confident doing. So it's a teamwork. It needs.
Speaking of the protein, we talked about this yesterday, and actually funny that langoustine appeared again, right?
Yes.
Like, you might have an allergy to langoustine.
I don't know. I never wanted to know. I allergic to shrimp. I can't have shrimp. Um, but yeah. Then when I saw the langoustines and Meg Grasso was there, she was like, "You're not touching that. You're not touching anything. Make sure that you don't try it when you put it in there." So yeah, so I couldn't try like the croquette. I did make the croquette with gloves obviously and everything, but I couldn't try they say it was good. So
What was that feeling like though, right? I think you almost told me that during the competition you felt even more calm than you did in practice. Even when you couldn't try one of the main components of your dish,
yeah.
you still felt calm, or what kind of feelings did you have?
I was calmer than in previous competitions, and also when we like they have to check your equipment before the competition, and they took from us the pressure cooker. So I was like, oh my god, we don't have a pressure cooker. And then I was like, it's okay, we can do it. Then we move to the table and I connect the blender, the immersion blender, and it explode. Yes. And I was like, I just going to lose my mind. Then they tried to find another one because it was like a connection thing. You know, it was a new blender. So they asked one of the other teams, and they shared their blender with us. It was the Sweden team. Yeah. But after all those things, I was like, it's I'm here, I'm a winner already. I'm here. Um, so I just, let it go, and I was not as stressful, and like shaking and everything than in previous competition. In previous competition, I've seen the pictures and the videos and everything, and my face looks like I'm going to die. In this one, I feel way better. Yeah, I just let it go. I can't hear you. Okay, she's gone. I have the other questions in here. Okay, now you are there.
Yes, so sorry. I popped back on. I'm curious though, you've shared your whole experience. If there are some other folks who are so inspired to take this jump next year, what advice do you have for them?
My advice will be to focus on your strengths instead of your weaknesses, and find those things that you are very good at, and then you focus on that instead of trying to. It's good, obviously, to know what are your weaknesses and work with them. You just don't focus on that, and believe in yourself, and don't let your doubts stop you, um, and just do it.
Just do it. I feel like we've heard that somewhere before too. So one thing that I did want to talk to you about, workers of color so workers of color comprise nearly 50% of the food service industry, and women make up 54% of all food service workers. But as we climb into leadership positions in the food industry and you get to senior leadership, women only represent around 20% of those leadership positions. Do you have some thoughts to share with us on how we can help increase representation in leadership?
In my experience, things that help me grow, it was I have leaders that believe in me,
Mhm.
and that whenever they saw something that I was doing, that they like it, they encourage, they ask for more, they support, and they make me feel that I had a space, that I have a space in the kitchen, that it was an open place for me to develop and to grow, and makes me feel that I was being supported, and that I was being heard. So I think feeling included, it, it, it helps you assure yourself and believe that you can, that there's no reason why you can't grow in the industry, even if your language is not the primary language that is speak in your kitchen, or even if you are the minority for whatever reason. um, Feeling included and supported is a huge push, or it was a huge push for me.
So it sounds like if you are someone and you're looking to take that next step, speak up, right? Talk to your manager and let them know you're looking for more responsibility or this is where you want to learn. And if you are a manager, take a peek at your amazing team, identify like the strengths, and when somebody does something well, speak
Yeah,
up and say something
recognize.
and encourage
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
So we do have a couple of questions from the folks on the call. It looks like Shannon is asking, what was it like to work overseas?
It was very exciting, seeing how other cultures interpret, the same box that you have. Also being on another site overseas is very interesting. I love going to other sites, especially now that that I'm an executive chef on a site, because I like to see the difference, and I like to see what they are doing better than me, or what I'm doing better than them, or so it's a great experience, and having the opportunity to make friends in other countries, and share experiences with them, and they share how it's like working where they are, and all these things it was amazing.
It sounds amazing. It sounds incredible. I know that we only have a couple minutes left, so I want to ask you one final question. When I reached out and I told you I would love to spotlight you on Lead Grow Deepen, you said, that sounds scary, but I like a challenge. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So talking about strengths and weakness, um, talking is not one of my strengths, or at least I don't think is one of my strengths. So it is, and anytime I have to, talk in public to a big amount of people or anything like that is pretty scary for me, because I'm not used to, and because my language, my primary language is not English. So when I get nervous, I tend to forget words, and just feel awkward, I guess. But it's something that I am aware of, and I would like to work on it and be one day a great speaker. But yeah, I like the challenge. But yeah, it's intense.
I think one of my big takeaways that I've learned from you today is that even though things feel scary or they feel a little bit uncomfortable, if we're able to just be a little brave and face those things, then we'll come out stronger on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. If you could create your own competition, which ingredients would you put in a mystery box?
Oh my God. I don't know. I think I will, since I have had so many baskets already, I think I will try to do it like very hard. I don't know. I think one of the things I'm always scared to have in a basket for some reason is, like, for example, like soy sauce, chocolate, and stuff like that. So I think I will put that just to see what other people can do. But yeah, those are ingredients that I'm never looking for seeing in a basket, because it just makes me think about specific things. So it's like a block for me. But yeah.
Well, I think that means everyone should rush to sign up to compete in the ICC next year, because then Chef Zio can help you prep and she can throw you some curveballs in that mystery basket, right?
Yeah.
Well, Chef Zio, we are all out of time, but I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, share your experience and your knowledge with us today. Really appreciate that. And for everyone who tuned in, whether you're watching this live with us now or you're watching us on replay, thank you for joining, and we will see you next month. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.